Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Superior Octopus from the DemoGoblin wave. So this right here is basically the Superior Spider-Man, which is obviously Doc Ock as Spider-Man, but in a more advanced Doc Ock style suit. So he actually has the arms there and everything, and the more iconic, green Doc Ock sort of colours. Flipping this thing round to the back, we can see all the other figures in the wave. We got two of the Gamerverse Spider-Man PS4 figures right there, which I can't wait to get out of the box. But the next figure I'm going to be taking a look at is this one right here, the White Rabbit. So stay tuned for that. It does look really cool, same as everything in the wave, to be totally honest with you, and the Build-A-Figure. Really happy with this Spider-Man wave. So let's go ahead and get this thing open up and take a closer look. And here we have Superior Octopus out of the packaging, looking pretty awesome, I may say. Standing 6¼ inches tall there. It really does look amazing. I love the head sculpt. I love how it's kind of a more wider jaw, a wider head than we would normally get for a regular Spider-Man figure. So it just makes the rest of the body look a bit more bulky, even though it isn't all that much. Honestly, it's a fantastic looking figure. These are new for this figure, so they are not actually the same tentacles that we got with the Doc Ock from the SPDR wave, which I still have to review actually, so I will show that next to this, I guess, when I do that review. But I'll mainly compare that to an older Toy Biz Doc Ock that looks similar. So these are inferior, you can swap them around, so that is a really good plus point, but they don't have wires in them, so, we'll take a closer look at that in a second. First up, we'll just look at the main body, though. You don't get any other accessories, you don't get any other hands or anything like that, you don't get any other web whipping kind of stuff. I guess like this, he would just use his tentacles and stuff more like Doc Ock than when he was Superior Spider-Man and have the Spider-Man stuff, so he's had, the web flipping things. So, first up, obviously, we've got the Octopus logo, not the Spider-Man logo. It's pretty apparent. I think this is just a really awesome looking design. Love the color choices. We've got the new hand sculpts here. If we come in nice and close, you can see the awesome green paintwork there. These little gauntlet pieces for the wrist are loose, so if you pull the hands off, you could take them off and put them on whatever you want. He does have the nice silver paint all over the knuckles and on the thumbs and everything there. That's cool. The rest of the paintwork, obviously, it's basically a black molded figure with the grey painted over it, which, for the most part, is actually done really well. The black line work is mostly clean. There are some areas, like I've got a bit of a scuff on the torso right there. Other than that, really, as far as I can see, we've got a little bit of white here for some reason. That'll probably just come right off, though, if I just scratch that off. From everything that I can see, besides a little black dot on the goggle there as well, it's all pretty clean, to be totally honest with you. Looks good. The backpack piece here is actually pegged in with 2 pegs, so if you've got another figure that's got the 2 pegs like that, you can put this on it. And yeah, so these tentacles, they don't have wires, like I said. The head of the tentacle, the grabber, whatever, the hand, I don't know what you call this thing, that does pop off. That helps you just take it out of the packaging. That means that there is a joint there for you to be able to swivel that as well. So you can remove it, and you can swivel it around to whichever way you want it. But there is no wiring within these things themselves. They do all have the same size peg. So you can unpeg that one from there, and you can put that one there if you wanted to, and then you can pop that one in there and have them kind of, crossing over one another, which I think does look really cool. So you can have it look however you want, really. Each of them is slightly different, so you can have very different looks. You can put them wherever you want. So you got 2 of the kind of smaller, more curved ones, and then 2 of the more kind of open, longer ones. And you can obviously put them wherever you want, which I think is great, but it is still limited. Because there's no wire, you are limited to the poses that these things have. You can obviously rotate them in the peg as well, so you can rotate them and have them facing backwards and stuff, so you can have him fighting enemies that are behind him. You can have them facing downwards. They're not going to support his weight, but you can at least make them touch the floor, so it kind of looks like he's walking with them or something. So, it's really cool. It does look good, and it is a fantastic thing. but at the same time, it does suck not having a wire, not being able to literally pose it however you want. But for the most part, I really, really do like them. I love the look of them. I love the look of the box that they're attached to the figure. I'm glad that they don't just go into like holes in the back. I'm glad it does actually go into a separate unit there, which looks great. And obviously it means that you can unpeg them all and still have this unit there, as if the tentacles are, retracted within this box, which is absolutely awesome. So the tentacles don't always have to be out. So that is a nice comic accurate thing right there. So as for the actual figure's articulation itself, then the head moves up and down, left and right really nicely, and has a good side-to-side wiggle too. At the shoulders, they come out to the side and rotate all the way around, and we have a butterfly joint there as well, which is a little stiff on both sides on this figure, but it is there, it works well. The rotation at the upper part of the arm, we have a double jointed elbow right there that works well, and then the rotation and then the swivel hinge at the wrists, which again, this is really, really stiff on my figure. So now coming down to this midsection here, the line work does get broken up if you do pivot him side to side. It does help if you kind of rotate him as well, and up there goes one of the legs. You know what, let's just take this backpack off whilst I'm doing this, because I'm holding them and I'm kind of dropping all the pieces. He does have a regular waist pivot right there. So yeah, this isn't really necessary or needed for this figure, because you're not going to get him in too crazy poses like holding himself up or swinging and this, that and the other with the tentacles, because you can't actually bend the tentacles to get into any kind of crazy poses. But it's really, really nice piece of articulation. For a figure like this where the lines match up like that, it might have just been better to go forward and back ab crunch, because he can crunch forward, not much back. I think if it was any other figure that doesn't have any kind of joining artwork there, I think this is a really, really nice new piece of articulation. But for something that matches up, I don't know, maybe just a forward and back ab crunch would suffice. But it looks fantastic. It still works really, really well. I think it looks great. It's nice and seamless there as well. Sometimes when you have a diaphragm joint like this, sometimes they can have too much of a gap. Especially if the upper body is quite bulked up, but this is the kind of medium scale, body mold, and it works really well. So the lines match up most of the way. You can still make that out. I think that's all right. I think overall that ain't too bad. Down at the legs, hips move forward, back a little bit, out to the side a little bit, rotation at the part of the thigh, double jointed knees, rotation at the boot, although this one is a little bit wobbly. So that's not too impressive. The feet move up and down and have ankle pivot. So that is pretty nice. So overall, if you're a fan of Dark Ark and if you're a fan of Spider-Man, chances are you like the look of this guy. And honestly, it's a really, really great figure. I think kids are going to love playing with it. And I think collectors are going to absolutely adore this thing on their shelves. I love the look of the tentacles and the backpack. It is a shame that the tentacles don't have a wire in them, but you can interchange them however way you want. So, you can still rotate them as well at the pack. So you can still get quite a good range of different poses there with the different tentacles. You just got to move them around a bit. Yes, obviously, you are limited somewhat, but I think, to be honest, for the most part, that doesn't matter too much. I think that they're molded really nicely and they're in nice poses themselves that you should be able to get what you want out of it. I think it looks great. Paintwork and everything is done pretty well there. Quality control overall is pretty good. So, yeah, it also is obviously needed for the Build-A-Figure. So if you want the DemoGoblin, then, yeah, it's a really, really nice buy. For me personally, Dark Ark is one of my favourite Spider-Man villains. So having a Superior Octopus to go along with the Superior Spider-Man is definitely a nice touch. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more from me, there's some videos on the screen right now. And go ahead and subscribe for more Marvel Legends. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.